So the first hole at TREVOSE is 403 yards from this tee. We're on a temporary green as well, so that's what shortens the hole. It's normally sort of 440. There's a couple of bunkers down on the right-hand side. It's playing into the wind, so I'm going to aim at those bunkers and just leave myself sort of a mid-iron into a temporary green. The bunkers are about 270 yards, so I'd really need a good one to even get close to it. Today it's probably out of range. I've not hit it great, pushed it a fraction, should come up short of those bunkers we were talking about. So I've got 155 yards. The target line is over the middle of this bunker I'm pointing at now. It's a tricky target because it's so small, so I need a really good strike to sort of get it in and around that area. I've chosen a 6-iron. I'm going to try and keep the flight down and try and get it running down towards the hole. It's a decent strike, but I've just dragged it left of target, so I'm going to probably leave myself a difficult chip shot. I've had the luxury here of actually seeing both Jordan and Josh chip, so I know sort of the speed it's going to be down the hill. I literally just want to carry the collar of rough and let the ball feed down, ideally getting it past the hole to give myself an uphill putt. Even though I'd seen the previous two shots, I was still surprised at how quick this actual chip shot was, but I'm pleased with where it's finished, giving myself a chance to make par. I've read this putt as sort of right edge. As soon as it loses pace, it's going to go to the left. The surface of the green is pretty good, to be fair. A very good temporary green, but I'm going to make sure I'm positive with this and try and hit the ball sort of a good couple of inches past so that it doesn't take too much break. The stroke was decent and the ball pace was good. The ball went in the right centre of the hole. I'm really pleased with a 4. This is the view from the second. I'm just sort of down the bottom below the tee area, just to show you. There's the bunkers that you're going to be facing off the tee. 2 left, 1 right and 1 further up. You've got bunkers guarding the green as well on the right hand side and 1 to the left. It's a short par 4, but there's a lot of sand. So you do need a good tee shot, good second shot to give yourself a birdie putt, and that's the tee up there. So it's 260 yards to carry those bunkers. Normally I'd lay up short of them, but because this hole's playing straight into the teeth of a strong cold wind, I thought I need to hit driver to try and take it over the top of them to leave myself a sort of wedge into the green. This was actually my best drive of the day and one that I really middled, so I knew it would fly those bunkers, although I did have a little anxious moment when the ball was in the air, but it was well past them, should leave me about 100 yards in. So I've left myself around about the 100-yard mark, and I've chosen a 50-degree wedge. Generally, that distance-wise, I'd probably get there with 54 if I hit it hard, but I didn't want to balloon it and come up short. The pin was sort of tucked left, so I was trying to hit it with the wind slightly into and slightly across, sort of mid of the green. So I'm pin high, just right at the pin with a makeable putt. I was looking for some break in this putt, and I actually couldn't find any, so decided to hit it pretty straight. The putt did move right to left. That's one area of my game I'm struggling with, is reading the green, so I probably do need to go on a course and maybe learn to read the greens better. Just a routine tap in. I'm going to hit this pretty straight and firm, take any break out. This is one of my favourite par 3s in golf. It's around about 130 yards today. There's bunkers right, and anything right of those bunkers will kick down into the dip. Ideally, you want to hit it up this left-hand side, and it should feed down towards the hole. You cannot miss this right. Not only will the ball feed to the right, but the wind is left to right as well, making this quite a difficult approach shot. Both Jordan and Gareth have missed it down to the right, so I'm going to make sure I keep this left. I've chosen an 8-iron. It needs a good strike. I'm just going to try and keep the ball flight down again, keep it up the left side, which is what I've done. Unfortunately, the wind hasn't touched it, and it's actually stayed at the top of the hill, leaving myself a difficult pitch, which I won't be able to putt because it's actually stayed in the rough. Gained a bit of confidence in chipping recently, and here I'm just trying to land it in the longer stuff to sort of take all the speed out of it and let it trickle down to the hole. Quite happy with the way I've executed it. As soon as it gets on the green, it's straight down quite a severe slope. Unfortunately, I played it a little bit left of target. Should have gone straight at it. So I've read this putt as dead straight, and they say hitting a straight putt is one of the most difficult skills in golf. I've been pleased with my stroke so far, and I've holed some nice putts. I've been reasonably happy with my stroke so far, but this was a complete yip. I've completely opened the club face and pushed it right at the target, which now I need to get that out of my head quick. I don't want it to continue during the round. Some statement, this is my favourite hole in Cornwall.
Favourite hole in Cornwall, really?
Par 5. Drive up here over those bunkers, hopefully, or just to the right of them. And the whole dogleg's massively left, par 5. You're right out on the headland, and we'll see some water in a minute. So the wind's left to right, and I'm trying to hit a draw into the wind and try and carry the furthest bunker you can see on the left hand side, leave myself sort of a mid-iron into the par 5 and a good chance of birdie. I should really have stuck to hitting a little fade, and I've smothered hooked this. It's out the toe of the golf club, which has exaggerated it, and I've hit it left, giving myself no chance of getting up in 2. I've located the ball and the lie's pretty good, so I'm just going to try and hit a 6-iron and try and get it as close as possible. Picked a spot in the distance, a decent strike, should leave me a little wedgie, and I'm happy with the strike. Ball's going forward, not much deviation, no one's seen where it's gone. Ball located after about 2.5 minutes. The lie's not particularly good. The pin is guarded by this bunker, so I'm going to try and hit it hard. Not sure how it's going to come out. I feel like it might come out low. I'm going to make sure I hit it hard to get it there. It's come out lower than expected. With little spin, it's hit the downslope of the bunker and rolled to the back of the green, but it's left me a birdie putt. This is an area I feel like I've improved massively mentally. I'm going to try and make a 5. Realistically, I'm not going to hole it, but I don't want to be adding a high number to the score and dropping a shot on a relatively easy par 5. The putt is breaking from the left, and it's into a bowl, so it's all about the pace. Getting it to the top of the bowl and letting it feed to the hole. I'm relatively pleased with the speed. It's left me a makeable putt from probably 5-6 feet. I was a little bit surprised at how much break was on this putt, and I was reading it sort of half a cup outside the left. Even though it's a relatively short putt, I really need to just get the ball started on the line I've picked and trust the actual break. This was really pleasing after the poor putt hit on the previous green. This is one of the hardest holes on the course, and one that I've got some bad memories about. The tee shot's not too bad. There's a long way left to actually hit it out of bounds. Just going to sort of hit it down the middle, slight fade, leave myself sort of a mid-iron into the green. Sounds silly, but a good drive will leave a lot easier shot, which you'll see in a minute. Really pleased with this drive, straight out the middle, particularly after the previous drive. It was relatively long as well. So the dangers of this hole is it's the second shot, so it's all uphill, up a bank, and if you come up short, it rolls all the way back down. In summer, you could roll sort of 50 yards short, so it's getting the right club to land it onto the correct level. All I was thinking here is get it up to the top level. I'd previously come up short and duffed 2 or 3 chips in quite a big event round here, which sort of cost me a place. So that's what I was thinking, get it to the top level and give yourself a putt. And that negativity has made this shot a lot harder than it actually is. Staying in the moment is an important skill every golfer needs. I've chosen a 9-iron, should really have hit wedge. It was a wedge distance for on the number. I've hit 9-iron to make sure I get it up to the green, and unfortunately it's finished at the back of the green, leaving myself a really difficult 2-putt. So I've read this putt from the right. It's going to break quite a bit, you know, a good sort of 2-3 foot outside right. I was rushing a little bit and didn't walk down to the hole side, which I would normally do, and didn't actually realise it was so downhill after the hole. Hit what I thought was a decent putt for speed and also line, but it just got away from me and ran a good 10 foot past. Read this just outside my left, just outside right as you look down the camera, but this putt has broke way more than I thought. Almost caught right edge of the hole as I looked, but it didn't and just drifted past, making a disappointing bogey. View from the tee, it's 320 yards today. That's my face off the tee, bunkers on the left, one on the right. Just want to land it in between the two of them and then leave yourself a little pitch onto the green. Good chance of birdie here. Pull driver out to just get it past those bunkers. It's really a free hit down there. I've just slightly tugged it. Bit concerned in the air, but it's carried those bunkers and gone into the left rough. 62 yards remain. I pulled a 58 out. The lie's reasonably good. Just trying to hold the actual club face at target. Don't let it sort of flick left and miss left. Club face impact was in a good position. Unfortunately, the strike was slightly low on the face and it's slightly finned in. It's come out lower than I'd expect and gone past the hole. Result was actually better than the execution of the shot, and I've got about 10 foot down the hill for a birdie. Another putt I can't really see much in, so I'm going to sort of roll it straight, try and get the pace right. I'm thinking it's not going to break more than half a hole, so if I hit it straight, it should still grab an edge and drop in. Just caught the right edge and finished directly behind the hole. Easy par, but a little bit disappointed with that. The 7th hole is 359 yards. It's quite a difficult par for this. The tee shot you've got to be a little bit careful with. If you pull it, there's a ditch down the left-hand side, but you want to be down the left-hand side to give you a clear view into the actual green. So I've chose 5 wood because it's downwind, and then it also, hitting driver brings that ditch right into play. I'm pleased with the strike, hit it good. Still, again, anxiously watching, but it should be short of the ditch, and thankfully it is, leaving myself a nice little wedge into the green. This is a difficult shot for me. Not a lot of club in my hands and not much distance, but it is a 2-tier green, and the green is pitched slightly above where I'm stood. I did fly the green here in a tournament, and that's what I'm thinking when hitting this shot. Don't go past the pin, which has made me hit it onto the front of the green and miles from the pin. Again, really negative and really defensive. Hit a decent first putt, which had a chance of going in, just rolled past the hole, and now just sort of straight back down the hill. I've had a good look as it went past the hole, so I know this is not going to do a lot, just tidying up for my par. Happy with a par, and a couple of good opportunities for birdie to finish.